For most of you, if you are sticking around and keeping up with some of the videos I do, y'all know that I just did a video called why CW Flash's Zoom basically gave me nightmares. And I still stick to that. And I just wanted to talk about more about CW Flash's Zoom. I just felt like it had to be talked about even more. So I rewatched season 2 and I was like, you know what? This guy has some of the most insane aura ever. And it's weird when I look back at it because yes, he is a villain, he is bad, he is terrible, he's disgusting, he is terrifying, but his aura is practically unmatched. I mean, this dude is insane. Not just his aura, but obviously he's menacing as hell, which just adds to this aura of insanity, this aura of being this terrifying, scary type of aura that he really gives off, and you're going to hear that word quite a bit throughout this video. But at the end of the day, he is an absolute aura farmer. And I think a lot of us, yes, we might have a love-hate relationship with the idea of aura farming and some of these, people doing things like that. But when he does it, it kind of just works so well. I mean, for starters, the suit itself is straight up menacing. I mean, we know how disgusting and terrifying that version of the suit is. I mean, it's a pitch black. It's kind of armored to an extent, but it's featureless. It's like he's just showing this black kind of creature that is hunting you throughout the night. It's not flashy. It doesn't have like some cool symbols. It doesn't have this, bright and pop out colors. No. None of that. It is just pitch black. That's it. And I'm going to be honest. The blue lightning just adds to it even more. I mean, the fact is, it kind of shows that it's this power he has, this undisputed blue lightning power he has, but it also adds to it because it's kind of like this version of corruption that is being shown. We know that the kind of lightning that he has, and a speedster's lightning becomes, blue because of velocity, right? Because of Velocity 9 and stuff like that. We know that the corruption is through the drug and that he's basically dying. Like, that's the whole thing. It's it's the furthest thing from natural. It is this unnatural feeling, but the blue lightning just adds to the aura of what he can do, what he does. He is not only a villain. He is not only something that is disgusting and filled with hatred and want to destroy and conquer everything. He is the incarnate of corruption. He is legitimately the incarnate of corruption, all the way down to his blue lightning and his speedster powers. He is corrupted, and he wants to corrupt the entire world with it as well. I mean, visually, it screams unstable power, as if it's this kind of breaker that is crackling and sparking and breaking. And it just made him this force of nature that is pure just fear and terrifying. And that's exactly what Zoom was able to do. This deep, echoing, growling voice. And it sounded like an actual demon, like an actual creature in the night. And a full-on demon that is trying to take you down. And that's not the only thing. What about every entrance, basically, that Zoom makes? Almost every single entrance he makes is a jump scare, and it's like he wants you to jump back in your seat. He wants you to kind of feel the aura of his kind of terrifying, thrilling version of himself, right? This is just ridiculous. I mean, he makes moments throughout the series or throughout season 2 feel insane. I mean, he just shows up out of nowhere, aura farming to all hell. And he takes away things that, people care about. He shows up with the Flash, just holding him up, being like, oh yeah, this is nothing. This is your hero. He's nothing. He's useless. On top of that, he takes him to the police station, shows him off. And what does he do when they all fire off a ton of bullets at him? Yeah, he just casually speeds and grabs all the bullets and just empties them all out of his hand, saying like, your bullets can't touch me. I want you to feel like you're useless. I want you to feel like there's nothing you can do that can stop me. Every aspect of Zoom, yes, is terrifying, but it's filled with this kind of aura about him that is both terrifying, that is also kind of intriguing, that is also insane to watch. And on top of that, he's not a good guy. Like, he's far from it. He doesn't even really have a proper agenda. Like, this dude was a serial killer. He was horrible, the worst of the worst, scum of the scum. And he was granted powers. This is somebody who is thriving off of the torture of other worlds, thriving off the torture of other people. And there is vast amounts of scenes where he's just sitting on a rooftop, you know, maybe squatted down a little bit, just looking over the city, and he's just farming, man. He is just aura farming to the largest extent you could possibly think of. He is farming because he's looking over, he's like, yeah, this right here, this is my place. This is what I'm owed. This is what I deserve. He's an unstoppable force. I mean, this dude got so bored that he was like, you know what? I'll just get another version of myself, and then I'll make people feel protected. And then guess what? I'm going to take that all away from them. Just like that. And that's what he was doing with Barry too. I mean, he wasn't just defeating Barry. He didn't just beat Barry. He broke him. He paralyzed Barry, dragged him across Central City like a corpse, humiliated him in the front of the entire public. Everybody watching, from cops to people that are just reporters, staring at their hero, staring at the Scarlet Speedster, staring at the Flash, or, well, Barry Allen, thinking, oh my gosh, this isn't happening. The one that's supposed to protect us, the one that's supposed to save us and keep us safe from monsters like Zoom, like Hunter Zolomon, well, he's sitting there, nothing, not moving, not breathing, basically destroyed, broken, and battered. This man, Zoom, not only is one of the biggest aura farmers in the CW Flash, maybe one of the biggest aura farmers we've seen in the CW kind of series, or the kind of like all the arching series. I mean, he is a boogeyman, an absolute boogeyman that they made not only an aura farmer, but an absolute monster, an absolute creature that people would fear. Other villains would fear him. I mean, he had legitimately other villains underneath his boots. Other villains that are from Earth 2 underneath his beck and call. He had villain versions of Caitlin Snow, Ronnie, also Cisco, following his every whim. And guess what? If they didn't listen and they didn't, fall in line, well, they would just get put out of their misery almost instantly. And we've seen it. We saw it the entire time. Zoom has control over everything, or at least that's what it felt like for so long. Zoom had control over so much. All he wanted was a playground. It seems as if he realized when at the end of his life, when he was sitting there in that chair, about to be ended, about to be put to rest, about to be put down for the rest of eternity, he realized that he didn't want to change a leaf. He didn't want to turn over a new leaf. He didn't want to become a better person. He didn't want any of that. What he wanted was to prove to everyone what he was, what he is, and what he's going to be. So when he would stand in front of those countless people that were looking to their heroes to save them, he would make it very clear, if there was any doubt, any ounce, any snippet, any little tiny grain of doubt that they could win, that they could somehow save themselves, that they can somehow live life normally, well, Zoom would shut it down almost instantly, and he would farm his aura to a different type of degree. I mean, he would tell them flat out, with fear in their eyes, that all the fear they're feeling now is just the beginning. All the fear that they feel at this moment is just the beginning. It's going to get so much worse. And that everything they're feeling is going to be way, way worse. And that right there is something that a lot of these other villains, well, they don't have necessarily. Like, yes, your Savitar's, like, and your Reverse Flashes, they hate Barry. They despise him. But the funny part is, Zoom doesn't hate Barry. But Zoom finds that Barry, or finds a way to basically kind of realize, like, hey, you know what? I can make an example out of this guy. I can make something out of Barry Allen, or I can make something out of the Flash that makes it so it's that much easier for me to take over this place, this Earth. I mean, he genuinely wanted to break Barry Allen, make him just like him. And he believed that Barry could or is just like him. And maybe that in a way is kind of his coping mechanism basically for doing what he's doing. But it's hard to say that as well when it seems like there's no ounce of humanity in the guy. And yes, we saw things with Caitlyn, with, you know, a version of, you know, Hunter Zolomon and stuff like that. Supposedly at the time was Jay Garrick. Obviously not Jay Garrick. But we saw little aspects of it. But it didn't mean that he was a good person. It didn't mean that there was anything deep down inside, because there wasn't. Zoom was different. Zoom was fear. Zoom was conquer. And Zoom was aura. That is all Zoom was. And in a way, I kind of love it. I know normally I personally would like some depth to my characters and some depth to basically what he is, how he got here and stuff like that. Zoom is probably the most basic one, where he's literally just like a serial killer and he got powers. So that's pretty basic in terms of that. But sometimes you got to have a villain that is just overarching, no redemption, no kind of aspect that is like, you know, half decent or okay. Sometimes you need a villain like that to really watch things crash and burn around, because it's really entertaining watching, you know, like the main hero, the main person kind of go through hell and back against a guy that you look at and you're like, this guy, there's no redeeming qualities about him. He's horrible. He's disgusting. He's the worst of the worst. And yes, you could say the same thing. Oh, Reverse Flash this, you know, Savitar this. But those villains, like those early villains and even later villains, had some sort of agenda, right? Reverse Flash, he wanted to get home. You know, he actually minorly grew fond of Barry to an extent. Yes, he did, you know, he still was like, I hate you. Like, that is still something that is going to be deep inside of him in terms of like the hatred for Barry Allen and the Flash. But at the same time, he had some sort of growth there. And we saw that with, you know, like that version of Eobard Thawne, at least at that time. What about Savitar, right? Savitar had his reasonings, even if it was a little awkward to talk about, because let's be honest, it was a weird circumstance. We're talking about him getting kind of dismayed, and because, oh, he wasn't the real Barry, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I always thought that was a little weird, but at the same time, at least he had some sort of reasoning. Hunter Zolomon, I mean, he was a serial killer, and he was going to be put to, you know, death, and you could say, oh, that's his reasoning. But that's really not. I mean, that was something that I wouldn't say necessarily he deserved. Like, you know, I don't know, right? Like, whatever you believe about the death penalty, that's a whole nother topic for not my channel. But, like, at the same time, that is what the world believed he deserved, was to be put down for good, because he was a terrible person. And then he was granted powers for a second chance, and he still was a even more terrible person. So it is pretty interesting watching a villain have, let's be honest, very little motives and kind of very little backstory in, like, oh, it's good that he did that. Yes, he has his, you know, typical, like, he was, you know, messed up, you know, type of backstory with his family and stuff, which I get that. But, I mean, does it excuse you from being a full-on serial killer and then proceeding to still be a full-on serial killer? Yeah, no, definitely not. So, it's the backstory is a little bit skewered, or his choice definitely kept going in one direction, and that one direction was more power, more wants, more desires, and more like conquering. That's what he wanted, and he kept doing that, right? He had every chance to stop. He had every chance to hold tight and give up. I mean, shoot, he was gonna leave it at only one Earth until he learned that there were more, and then he wanted to conquer all of them. And that right there is a scary fact, but also a scary, scary aspect of the aura that this guy gives off, Hunter Zolomon, other known as Zoom. But I would love to hear what you guys have to say about the aura farming villain himself, CW Flash's Zoom. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. And yeah, I love talking about CW Flash, even though, yes, it did fall off. And yes, you know, there are things that I'm like, damn, I wish this was better or this was better. But still, it was good. It was okay, solid enough to where there's certain aspects that I'm very fond of. But I would love to hear what you guys have to say. If you guys enjoyed, please show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. And with that said, if you enjoyed this video, YouTube believes you'll enjoy this one. So might as well go check it out.